We're on patrol with the 802 Infantry Regiment of the Congolese Army. Its job is to protect people who live in the hills and forests that surround Goma on the eastern frontier. Its commander is Colonel Alain Nkulu. My biggest problem is the FDLR, he says. They raid villages to get more supplies, but since we've been here, their attacks have diminished. That's in part because many of his men know these villages not as members of the army, but as fighters in the militias responsible for attacking them in the first place. This is an integrated unit. Half of the soldiers are former rebels. One of the biggest challenges for integrated units like these is learning how to work and fight together, particularly because a lot of these soldiers not so long ago were members of armed groups like the Mai Mai and the CNDP, two militias that were actually fighting the Congolese army. It was a conflict that left the region deeply traumatized. Back in 2008, the CNDP advanced out of the hills, looting, raping and killing. Thousands ran from their homes. In a peace deal, the fighters eventually swapped uniforms to join the army. Human rights groups say it wasn't much of a solution.
It's hard to live with a Mai Mai who killed and destroyed your livelihood. It's hard for a CNDP soldier who killed your whole village to protect the same village. And that's why the Congolese army isn't respected and can't end insecurity.
And many rebel units were kept together, their chains of command still intact, almost an army within an army.
There is a need for some screening, because if you have people who have had records of human rights, of gross human rights violations, then it's not good to keep them in the army, because the army is supposed to protect, not harm.
The military solution? Training, training and more training. Commanders say it's the only way to instill discipline and unify their troops. The UN believes that's simply not enough. It says that without complete reform of the army, it'll continue to be just another armed group in a region already awash with them. Peter Greste, Al Jazeera, in Sake in eastern Congo.